Monica's heart raced as she walked down the grocery aisle, her mind still buzzing from a day at work. The mundane task of picking up a few essentials quickly became anything but when she spotted a familiar figure by the produce section. There, with his back turned to her, was Michael. Monica hesitated, her breath catching in her throat. It had been 5 years since they'd last seen each other, and the last time had been anything but pleasant. Memories of their 4-year relationship, which had started with the innocence of high school love, flashed through her mind. They had been inseparable. Best friends and lovers, until she had broken his heart for someone else. Swallowing the lump in her throat, Monica found her voice. "Michael?" she called out softly. Michael turned, his expression neutral as his eyes met hers. It took a moment before recognition dawned, followed by a flicker of something she couldn't quite place. "Monica," he said, his tone cool and measured. She managed a small smile, though it wavered under his gaze. How have you been?" Michael looked at her for what felt like an eternity, his emotions a whirlwind behind his calm facade. The sight of her brought back a flood of memories, both good and bad, and he wasn't sure how to respond. After what felt like a long pause, he finally said, "Fine. I've been fine." Monica bit her lip, sensing the distance in his tone. She had expected this, but it didn't make it any easier to hear. As he turned away, she panicked, not ready to let him go just yet. "Michael, wait!" she called out, reaching for him. He stopped, but didn't turn around. "I'm sorry," she blurted out, the words tumbling from her lips before she could think. "I'm so sorry for how things ended between us." Michael turned back to face her, his expression still guarded. He didn't say anything, waiting for her to continue. Monica took a deep breath, the guilt she'd been carrying for years bubbling to the surface. "I was so young and stupid back then. I didn't realize what I had, how much you cared about me. I thought I was moving on to something better, but I was wrong. The manager I left you for, he used me and then he tossed me aside. I was fired when people found out about us and I had nothing. I deserved it though. I was selfish and didn't think about how much I was hurting you." Michael listened, a part of him feeling a bitter satisfaction at her misfortune, but another part, the part that had loved her so deeply, felt a twinge of sadness for her pain. Seeing her again was stirring up old feelings, ones he had buried long ago. Monica hesitated before asking, "Would it be okay if we talk sometime? I'd like to catch up, if that's all right." Michael took a moment before answering, his eyes searching hers. "You can look me up on social media," he said flatly. "But just so you know, I'm seeing someone." The words were like a knife to Monica's heart, but she couldn't blame him. She hurt him deeply, and he had every right to move on. "I understand," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. He nodded and turned to leave, but something made her reach out. Her small, petite hands grabbed his, her warmth seeping into his skin. "Michael, wait," she said, her voice trembling. "I was so stupid. Seeing the hurt on your face back then, I didn't really care about how you felt. I was selfish. I know we can't go back and change things, but I really do apologize for hurting you, for not seeing what a good man you were." Michael felt her sincerity in every word, her hands trembling in his. Despite everything, he couldn't deny the connection that still lingered between them. He squeezed her hands gently, offering her a small, comforting smile. "Would you like to go somewhere and catch up a little?" he asked. Monica looked at him, surprise and hope flickering in her eyes. "What about your girlfriend?" "We're just two old friends catching up," he said with a shrug. "Besides, I'm not planning on cheating." Monica felt a rush of relief, a small smile tugging at her lips. She nodded, and when he extended his hand to her, she took it. They walked out of the grocery store together, stepping into the warm afternoon sun, ready to face whatever the future held.